You thought it was just stress, but it was a spiritual block at the root. You felt the tightness in your chest, the heaviness in your lower belly, the silent fear that things could collapse at any moment. Money disappears as fast as it comes. Relationships never feel fully safe, and your health, physical, emotional, spiritual, feels like it's always one step away from breaking. But here's the truth no one told you. You're not just exhausted, you're energetically blocked at the base. Your root chakra is still stuck in survival, still carrying the trauma, still wired for fear, still holding on to ancestral programs of scarcity, abandonment, and instability. And until you heal the root, nothing you try, not affirmations, not meditation, not even manifestation, will ever feel like it fully lands. Because the foundation is cracked, and prosperity can't rise through fear. Love can't bloom where the nervous system isn't safe. Health can't stabilize when the soul doesn't feel grounded. This isn't about belief. It's about vibration. It's about energy. It's about the deepest code of your body and soul, the one that says, I am safe. I am supported. I belong. I can receive. Until that code is reactivated, you'll keep looping the same patterns: financial instability, relationship anxiety, chronic fatigue, a life that feels like a constant effort just to stay afloat. But now, you're ready to break the loop. You're ready to heal from the ground up. And once the root is free, everything else begins to rise.
Chapter 1. Your body remembers what the mind forgot. The trauma lives in your root, not in your thoughts. You may not remember what happened, but your body does. And more than that, your root chakra never forgot. It remembers every time you felt unsafe, every moment of rejection, every instability you were too young to understand, every time love came with fear, every time money disappeared as quickly as it came, every time your survival felt threatened, even silently. You grew, you coped, you learned to function, but the energy stayed locked, deep in the base of your spine, deep in the subconscious, deep in the root. This is not weakness. This is not your fault. This is the body's sacred intelligence trying to protect you, long after the danger has passed. And yet, this protection mode has become a prison. Your nervous system never truly relaxed. Your energy never fully grounded, and your root stayed trapped in a loop of hypervigilance, scarcity, and emotional shutdown. You keep asking, why do I always sabotage when things start going well? Why do I still feel unsafe in love? Why can't I just relax and trust life? Because your base chakra is still in survival mode, not because of a flaw, but because of unprocessed ancestral trauma and emotional memories stored in your energy field. You're not broken, you're just blocked. And blocks don't need fixing. They need permission to release. They need safety, they need grounding. And now that you're remembering this, your root is already beginning to unlock.
Chapter 2. Your prosperity is rooted in energy, not effort. Scarcity is not a financial problem. It's a frequency block at the root. You've tried working harder, visualizing more, scripting, manifesting, praying. But deep down, the money never feels safe. The abundance never stays. The overflow never really arrives. Why? Because prosperity is not created through effort. It's magnetized through energy. And if your root chakra is stuck in survival, you're not vibrating abundance. You're broadcasting fear. You may say, "I am abundant," but your body whispers, "I'm not safe." And the universe listens to the body, not the mind. This is the great misunderstanding. Scarcity is not just a mindset. It's a vibrational echo of unhealed trauma, a frequency of contraction that keeps the flow out. When your root is holding ancestral fear, it sends out a signal. I can't receive yet. It's not safe. I'm not ready. And so life responds accordingly. This is why some people seem to attract prosperity effortlessly, not because they're smarter, but because they're more regulated, more grounded, more open. They're not chasing wealth, they're allowing it, because their nervous system says, "I'm safe to receive." Prosperity is not something you earn with exhaustion. It's a field you enter when your base is stable enough to hold it. And now, you are remembering how to re-enter that field, not through force, but through root healing, through energy release, through the vibration of enoughness. This is where it begins, not in the wallet, not in the mind, but deep in the base of your being, where your soul and survival first met.
Chapter 3. Love cannot thrive in unsafe soil. How the root chakra shapes your relationships without you even knowing. You keep attracting the same pattern, the same fear, the same ending. One partner is too distant. The next is too intense. You either abandon yourself or abandon the relationship. And you ask, why does love feel so unsafe? The truth, it's not the people, it's the programming, stored deep in your root. The root chakra is where we first learn what safety feels like. Not just physical safety, but emotional, spiritual, and relational safety. And if your root is still carrying the wounds of instability, love becomes a threat, not a gift. You may crave connection, but your nervous system is still wired for protection, and protection always comes at the cost of intimacy. So you shut down, you overgive, you sabotage, you run. Not because you don't want love, but because your body doesn't believe it's safe to receive it. You're not afraid of love. You're afraid of being unprotected, of being fully seen, of losing yourself again. This is the hidden link between relationships and the root. When the foundation is cracked, you attract others with the same fracture, or you repel those who offer stability because it feels unfamiliar. You're not broken. You're relationally enmeshed with your own unhealed base energy. But here's the shift. When you heal the root, you stop chasing love. You start attracting resonance. You stop performing safety. You become it. And love begins to arrive in forms that no longer activate your fear, but expand your truth. Because now, you're finally rooted in a connection with yourself stronger than any relationship you've ever lost. Chapter 4. Abundance is not out there. It's a frequency you become. The root chakra holds the code of receiving you forgot you had. You were taught to chase, to prove, to deserve. You were trained to believe that abundance lives in the external world, in hard work, in luck, in someone else's permission. But the ancient ones knew what modern life made you forget. Abundance is not something you find. It's something you remember. It's something you become. And it begins in the root. Your root chakra holds the original code of receiving. It is the sacred gate where spirit meets matter, where the soul first anchors into the physical world, where the body says, "I belong here. I am supported." But if that code is corrupted by trauma, fear, scarcity, or abandonment, you don't open. You brace. You block. Even when opportunity knocks, your subconscious says, "It's not safe. I'm not ready. I don't deserve this." So the energy retracts. The abundance dissolves, and the loop continues. You think you need more effort, but what you truly need is permission, energetic permission to receive. And that permission is born from healing the root. Because only when the base is strong can the soul relax, can the body trust, can the field respond. Abundance doesn't come when you force life to change. It comes when you change your frequency to match the life that's already waiting. And when the root chakra is finally grounded, finally regulated, finally remembered, you don't chase abundance anymore. You become a field that abundance chases. Chapter 5. Your health is not just physical, it's energetic. When the root is blocked, the body begins to speak what the soul cannot say. You think it's just exhaustion, or anxiety, or random pain with no clear cause. But what if your body is trying to tell you something that your mind never learned how to hear? Every symptom is a message. Every tension is a memory. Every imbalance is an echo from the root. The root chakra is the foundation of your energy body. When it's blocked, your body doesn't feel safe to rest, to regenerate, to release. So instead, it holds. It holds fear in the gut. It holds tension in the hips. It holds panic in the chest. It holds trauma in the immune system. Chronic fatigue, adrenal burnout, hormonal chaos, digestive issues, they're not random. They're spiritual signals trapped in biological form. The root is where life force begins. But when that force is frozen by old survival coding, your vitality can't rise. You may try supplements, diets, even medication, but nothing truly shifts until the energy underneath is released. Because true healing doesn't begin in the cells, it begins in the signal, and that signal comes from your energy field. When you ground your energy, regulate your root, and restore your sense of inner safety, your body no longer has to scream for help. It begins to trust, to breathe, to flow again. Healing is not something you force. It's something you allow when your base remembers that it is finally safe to live. Chapter 6. The Activation. You were meant to be grounded and free. Rewrite the root, and the rest of your life begins to rise. You were never meant to live in fear, never meant to prove your worth, never meant to survive in silence. But somewhere along the path, you forgot your original frequency. You forgot what it means to feel safe just by existing. You forgot that your foundation was sacred. And so, you adapted, you armored, you disconnected. But now, something ancient inside you is waking up. A vibration, a remembering, a fire in the base of your being. Because healing the root chakra is not just spiritual work, it's a soul retrieval. It's the moment your body stops bracing, your heart stops closing, and your energy begins to rise. Not from effort, but from permission. You don't need to earn your abundance. You don't need to chase love. You don't need to fight for health. You need to return to the ground beneath your trauma, the safety beneath the fear, the truth beneath the programming. When you finally say, I am safe, I am grounded, I am supported, I am open to receive, a portal opens, and everything you've been waiting for starts coming toward you. Because it was never out there. It was always waiting inside for your root to remember.
Final activation. Speak this into the field. Type it into the comments. You've carried enough. You've waited long enough. You've survived long enough. This is not just a video. It's a vibrational shift. And it begins with the moment you speak your new truth out loud, in your energy, and into the comments below. Now, breathe and say this with me. I am safe. I am grounded. I am open to love. I am open to abundance. I allow the energy to rise through me, not by force, but by remembering who I am. Now, type it below. Let the algorithm feel your vibration. Let the others reading know they're not healing alone. If this message found you, it wasn't a coincidence. It was your root chakra calling you home. Like, comment, share this frequency forward, and above all, stay grounded, stay open, because the life you're calling in has already begun to answer.